Welcome to Positively Las Vegas, a look at the good things happening around the valley. I'm Kalina Estrinos. For the next 30 minutes, we're going to share the latest stories that showcase the reasons why we love Las Vegas. That means the people, the businesses, and all the activities that make the valley a great place to live. We'll also share fun things to do in Las Vegas each week.
Well, encouraging young readers to learn about animals and share their tales. The North Las Vegas Library District inviting children, teens, and adults to its annual Summer Reading Challenge. 13 Action News anchor Rachel Moore live from the library with what readers can expect. Rachel.
Well, Dave, this year's Summer Reading Challenge is free and open to all ages, and the theme is Tales and Tales. So they're going to be learning about animals and their stories or their tales. Now, this is fully a virtual program, as the City of North Las Vegas libraries have partnered with Beanstack, and that's a web and mobile app allowing users to log and track their reading. Now, this initiative is so that kids maintain their reading skills and progress through the summer break so that when they get back to school, they're ready to start learning.
Summer reading is especially critical because kids aren't in school anymore. So they have this 2 to 3 month gap where they're not doing that homework, they're not being reading every night. And so the summer reading program is just really about motivating kids to keep reading all summer long.
Now, participating in the Summer Reading Challenge means you can have fun with special activities and earn chances to win prizes. And the Summer Reading Challenge has already kicked off, and it's going through the end of July. Remember, it is free to everyone, and we have a link on our website on how you can register. Go to ktnv.com. Reporting live, Rachel Moore, 13 Action News.
Well, can you spell comeback? Scripps National Spelling Bee is back after a year off due to COVID. This year, Las Vegas can root for a hometown speller. 13 News anchor ZORA ASBERRY sat down with ZORA Wint to see how she's prepping for the competition. ZORA?
Yeah, Dave, she's just 13 years old. This is her third attempt at the Scripps Spelling Bee, and also she studies 3 times a day, so she's more than ready. She's super excited about this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
You are correct. You are correct. You are correct.
I did my first spelling bee in 2nd grade, and I misspelled the word pumpkin, which I still remember. I've just learned how important pronunciation is through the years.
This isn't Sriya's first time competing in the Scripps Spelling Bee. She competed in the 2018-2019 Spelling Bee and came in 8th place in state, and she kept at it.
In 2020, I believe I made it to state again, but it was canceled because of COVID-19, so I didn't get to continue there. So this year I made it past state, and I'm finally going to the National Spelling Bee.
Sriya thanks her parents for their support and coaching throughout the process, no matter where she is.
I would say the majority of the time it's mainly either at home while I'm trying to watch a TV show or something, or on the way to and from school.
Now, Scripps is KTNV's parent company, so I use that as rationale for holding my own spelling bee. The first word is
psychiatrist.
Now, this one may have been a little easy for Sriya, as both of her parents are psychiatrists. The next word was a bit more challenging.
Inheritance.
And the next word even harder than the last.
Disconsolate.
Could you use that in a sentence, please? With the score 3-2, the last word could solidify Sriya's spot in the competition. Can you spell the name of our male morning anchor?
Cravassier.
Can you repeat it, please?
Cravassier.
Is he French? Okay.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Turns out neither of us got it right, but Dad did.
We're just very proud of the work that she's put in, and also of her poise under pressure. The last round that she was in went back and forth between her and the second to last contestant, and she just stuck in there and did a really good job.
Super proud. It's a lot of fun. It's nice to see that she's not stressed, and a lot of support. It's exciting. People are always sending her spelling words.
Sriya will compete in the preliminaries on June 12th, then go on to compete in the quarterfinals and semifinals. The top 10 to 12 spellers get to compete in the Scripps National Finals on July 8th at Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando. Now, Sriya says she couldn't have gotten this far without the support from her family or by giving up.
So just keep going, keep spelling, read, which helps a lot, just recognizing words, and just pay attention to the words around you and never stop trying.
Now, if Sriya wins the National Spelling Bee Championship, she goes home with $50,000, and her school also gets to take home a prize as well. And Dave, my favorite part was when she said, is he French? Which is super important because derivatives and the state or country of origin is super important for spelling.
That's true, but they don't allow proper names in the spelling bee, do they? It's kind of like Scrabble that way, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, well, she's so cute. That's great. Thanks, Zora.
Well, there is a brand new living area at Opportunity Village. Betty's Village is a residential community for people of diverse abilities. It will offer independent and semi-independent living. The buildings are townhouse style and are designed to emphasize front porch living, connecting with your neighbors and creating a sense of community. It includes 70 units along with a gym, pool, and spa.
Welcome back to Positively Las Vegas. For more details on any of the stories you're watching today, just visit our website, ktnv.com/positivelylv.
Well, during Pride Month, we're taking a closer look at a new web-based app that's helping to identify businesses in support of LGBTQ rights. The community-driven platform was created specifically for the Black, queer, trans, and non-binary communities. 13 Action News anchor Rachel Moore live explaining why creators even saw a need for this app.
It is still legal to discriminate against people based on actual or perceived sexual identity, gender orientation, or gender expression.
It's a social inequality issue David Johns is working to eradicate. In fact, just recently, Johns, the executive director of the National Black Justice Coalition, says he was the passenger of an Uber driver who continuously harassed Johns with questions about his painted nails.
He ended up pulling over the Uber and asking me to get out of the car.
His modern-day story of discrimination is all too familiar to members of the Black LGBTQ community, and one of the reasons why he developed the Lavender Book, a platform spreading the word about safe businesses and public spaces for those individuals.
When you are in a Black, queer, trans, or non-binary body, the likelihood of you experiencing those things is exacerbated incrementally.
The idea for the Lavender Book stems from the Green Book. For 30 years, it provided African Americans with advice on safe places to eat and sleep when they traveled through Jim Crow-era United States. Black travelers even violently attacked or killed. In Nevada, there were only 3 entries, one in Las Vegas, the Harrison Guest House in West Side. Today, in 2021, members of the Black LGBTQ community face similar discrimination.
We are at present in June, Pride Month of 2021, on track to have this be the deadliest year on record.
Since the beginning of this year, 27 trans and gender nonconforming people of color were killed in violent hate crimes. Identifying safe spaces isn't the only purpose of the Lavender Book. Johns also designed it to acknowledge businesses and entrepreneurs, welcoming all customers. Users can navigate through the list of services or amenities offered, like gender-neutral restrooms, Black or trans-owned, or LGBTQ-trained staff. Establishments bringing about social justice and equality.
This work is not only important because for me, it's the thing that allows all of us to be free, but it also is the way for folks to profit.
Rachel Moore reporting. Join us all month for stories on the LGBTQ community, and if you miss any of them, you can head over to ktnv.com/Vegas Pride 2021.
Las Vegas artists now have a new way to capitalize on their creations. Gallery to Go is a refurbished snack machine, but instead of having chips and cookies, it now dispenses small pieces of art. The Gallery to Go was started about 2 years ago, and the creator says she's received a lot of good feedback from both the artists and the clients. She says she started the gallery to give local artists an easier way to show off their skills.
Since we have a lot of artists over at the Arts Factory who didn't have a way to show their art on the regular basis, even though they're working there, they're not able to show. So this gives them a chance to be able to show their art without having to be in front of the customer.
And currently there are machines at the Arts Factory, Art Square, and a new one at Ferguson's downtown. The art pieces range from $5 to $25.
Welcome back to Positively Las Vegas. For more details on any of the stories you're watching today, just visit our website, ktnv.com/positively-lv.
The Greek Food Festival will return this year after pausing because of the pandemic. The festival includes a lot of Greek food, authentic music, dancing, and drinks. It runs September 10th through the 12th at St. John the Baptist Greek Orthodox Church. It was held the last time in 2019, so a couple years ago. We have more information on our website at ktnv.com. Well, tonight, a major donation by Las Vegas's own Dan Reynolds of Imagine Dragons. The frontman wants his childhood home to help LGBTQ youth live their best lives. 13 Action News reporter Joe Bartels is live near Sahara and Jones with the details for us. Joe.
Yeah, Tricia, Dan and his siblings actually grew up in this home. His parents, they just moved out in January. Now they hope this home filled with love for so many years will live on, making a difference in the lives of LGBTQ youth with a Utah-based nonprofit.
This is for children. That's what it's for.
This more than 5,000 square foot home off Sahara and Jones helped raise 8 children, including Imagine Dragons frontman Dan Reynolds.
We feel like it has a spirit, so to speak, of its own. It had a lot of children in it, a lot of happiness, and that's what we wanted. And people coming around were investment people.
Dan's father, Ron Reynolds, says the 7-bedroom home was a blessing to all who walked through the door, but selling it proved tougher than he thought. The Reynolds wanted the home to continue its history of helping and nurturing. Then Dan had an idea.
He called early in the morning and he said, "You can say no, but I just had this dream," and I woke up and I talked to my wife and she cried and he told us about it. We get emotional about it too, I think. But he said, what if I bought your home and I donated it?
I'm the Chief Program Officer at Encircle.
The idea is to donate the home to Encircle, a Utah-based LGBTQ organization that provides services, safety, and welcomes youth and their families.
This can be a place where people continue to grow up feeling loved and supported and, getting a lot of that love from the community.
Stephanie Larson says the home could be used for art and music programs as well as counseling sessions, something to help youth ages 12 to 26 feel more accepted to be who they are.
We're working on getting it zoned correctly, and then if that happens, we'll renovate this house and make it beautiful, a place that reflects the value and the beauty of these youth.
If approved, the home would be the first property outside the Utah nonprofit's portfolio, and the Reynolds know the project and the mission is oftentimes a matter of life and death.
My son, like some of my other sons, have seen friends die of suicide. They realize how serious it is. I mean, it's a life and death situation.
Governor Steve Sisolak also stopped by earlier this evening. He also is throwing his support behind this. Now, if everything goes according to plan, they hope to have this up and running by the spring of next year. Reporting live, Joe Bartels, 13 Action News.
I never miss an opportunity to get dolled up and visit the Mob Museum. But did you hear? Now you can gather a group of friends and enjoy a virtual tour and cocktail from home. Step back in time and learn about the Prohibition era. You'll get to know bootleggers, rum runners, and some very interesting personalities. Saddle up to the bar and enjoy a cocktail demo inside the underground speakeasy. Hey Foodies, Restaurant Week continues through Friday night supporting 3 Square. Botilla, T-Bone Chop House, and Cabo Wabo are among the dozens of local restaurants participating. And the Barrett-Jackson car auction rolls into the convention center this weekend. Catch classy cars crossing the auction block, including this Maserati once owned by Frank Sinatra and Wayne Newton's Rolls-Royce. Strap in for a Dodge thrill ride with a professional driver and feel the speed for yourself. For the full list, just head to our website, ktnv.com.
That was awesome! Welcome back to Positively Las Vegas. For more details on any of the stories you're watching today, just visit our website, ktnv.com/positivelylv. Cultivating a child's imagination through theater, the nonprofit for kids Ants in the Pants is celebrating 4 years.
13 Action News anchor Rachel Moore now live with a glimpse of how these children's stories are being brought to life in a story that's Positively Las Vegas.
And Dave, Kalina, all of the playwrights are children, but all of the actors and performers all are adults. So that right there is enough to imagine just how hilarious some of these productions can be. But the program is also having a positive impact on the children's mental health. Organizers say that some of these plays are clearly about what's happening in the children's lives, and that's because they're able to open up in a way that they normally would not. You won't catch the cursed necklace on Broadway. And Turtletown, well, that was a one-night showing in Las Vegas. These are plays written by children across the valley. They are writers with the children's theater production company Ants in the Pants.
I really like how you can create anything you want about a topic, and it can be totally crazy, and that fits in really well.
Kids like Surfy Brown learn creative writing and storytelling through various workshops. Then, with professional adult actors, their imaginations are performed on stage. It all started as an activity for a couple of parents in the valley, but it exploded into a year-round production company.
Allowing kids to see writing as more than an assignment, it can be a release.
A release more significant than what organizers could have expected, as the writing allows them to open up and be vulnerable, all because they feel safe expressing themselves on paper, especially through the pandemic.
We had to deal with a lot of kids sort of being depressed in a way, even if they didn't know they were, because, you lost your friends in a sense. You couldn't go see them safely.
Pushing through more than a year of quarantining, Ants in the Pants found a way to continue operating for the children.
We turned to creating videos instead of doing live theater, so they still got to see their stories come to life.
Stories like The Alien and the Duck. All this allowed students to stay connected to their friends.
I really like how you can create stories with other people, and even when you're not, it's really fun to share ideas.
Another thing that's cool about this program is that part of the tuition money goes to a scholarship fund with Ants in the Pants, and that will help kids from all economic backgrounds enjoy these workshops. Reporting live, Rachel Moore, 13 Action News.
Major victories for the LGBTQ community here in Nevada. The Nevada legislature passing a slate of pro-LGBTQ bills in their 120-day session. And this Pride Month, at least 5 have been signed into law.
The bills protect LGBTQ businesses, adds help for people with HIV, and could help teach future generations about the history of Pride Month. As part of our continuing Pride Month coverage, 13 Action News reporter Sean DeLancey joins us now to explain how these new laws can affect you. Sean.
Yeah, Clean and Dave, for decades, the LGBTQ community has made strides in their efforts to get equal protections under the law. And that has obviously come in stages, each little step coming closer to the goal. Equality Nevada, right here in Henderson, says that this session was a big step, but there's still more work to do.
Senate Bill 237. It is now law.
With that, Governor Steve Sisolak signs 4 key pieces of pro-LGBTQ legislation into law, the culmination of months of work in the Democrat-controlled Nevada legislature. The governor making a special trip to the Henderson Equality Center's Pride Festival for the signing.
We're making an exception because it is so important that we bring these bills to the community.
The bills require local governments to collect demographic data about the LGBTQ community, the same as race or sex, helps LGBTQ-owned businesses, and modernizes draconian HIV laws. One bill that was not signed here, Sisolak already put pen to paper on it, SB 194, and it deals with history.
The impact that lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender individuals have had and will continue to have on our state and on our nation.
Equality Center founder Chris Davin helped write language into an education standards bill many may miss. Here on page 8, guidelines that the culture, history, and impact of diverse communities, now including the LGBTQ community, be taught in public schools.
We need to learn about everybody in history.
Davin says that it is important for future generations to be exposed to different people, learn the stories of the Stonewall riots, and for the kids struggling with their sexuality or identity to know they're not alone.
When you can actually see that people made a difference, it gives them hope that, just because, people are anti-LGBT, it gives them the dream that, regardless, that they can strive for something.
Davin says his work isn't done and likely never will be because, in the words of the governor,
representation matters.
Davin says that part of that continued work is a biannual survey where he asks students what they learn about LGBTQ history and more, so he can actually figure out if this education bill works. He says if it doesn't, He'll be back in the legislature in 2023. Sean DeLancey, 13 Action News.
Life can change in an instant. The pandemic certainly taught us that. 1 minute you're fine, the next you're not.
What do you do when a loved one can't care for themselves anymore? 13 Action News anchor TRICIA KEAN shows you a free class providing some much needed assistance.
We don't know what's coming. It can happen to you. It can happen to anybody.
Paula Malelo of Las Vegas is a caregiver for Dawn, her husband of 21 years. Dawn had a heart attack about 4 years ago.
No warning, no anything. And so the outcome of that has been some physical and cognitive delays.
Paula says caring for a loved one is harder than anyone can imagine.
So when it happens, what do you do when you start scrambling and you need resources, you need information?
Paula got the help she needed through Dignity Health's free workshop, powerful tools for caregivers, available online and in person. Health educator Richard Davis says the class is really about caregivers learning to care for themselves.
Because they often forget that they're, in a sense, the most important person in the room because they're the one who's providing the care.
Davis, who was a caregiver himself, says it's easy to feel overwhelmed. So instructors help you develop a step-by-step action plan to care for a loved one. They also go over a variety of community resources, plus help caregivers process their own feelings.
Stress and depression and anger, very strong emotions can come up when you're caregiving. And you think, oh, I can't have those emotions. I shouldn't have those emotions. But they're normal, they're natural. So we learn how to deal with our emotions in a constructive way.
The workshop acts as a support group. Davis says hearing stories from others going through the same issues is therapeutic.
Together we discover what's going to work best for me in my particular caregiving situation.
Paula says that's the most rewarding part, making connections with other caregivers.
Knowing there's other people out there that going through things that I'm going through, and then problem solving things together.
For 13 Action News, I'm TRICIA KEAN.
Thanks for watching Positively Las Vegas on your favorite streaming device. If you missed any part of this week's program, just hit the back button on your remote, scroll down until you see Positively Las Vegas, and you'll find every story we aired in this episode. Stay tuned for more from 13 Action News after the break, and check us out anytime here on KTMV Streaming. Las Vegas News on your time.